Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Ken Kitts, president of the University of North Alabama, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the faculty and staff of UNA, I welcome you to this, our 2019 mid-year commencement for the College of Arts and Sciences. Let us begin by bowing our heads for a moment of silence as we give thanks for our many blessings this year and for these special graduates here this morning. Thank you, and amen. Please remain standing for the presentation of colors and the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, this ceremony represents a very special time for each graduate and his or her family and friends. To maintain the dignity of this distinctive occasion and out of respect for all of our graduates, we ask that you please silence cell phones, refrain from clapping or cheering until the end of the program, and remain seated until the ceremony has ended so that each graduate's name can be heard when announced. Commencement is a celebration of academic attainment. To bring greetings to you from the academic community of the University of North Alabama, it is my pleasure to introduce you to our Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Ross Alexander. Dr. Alexander.
Thank you, President Kitts. I too welcome all of you. On behalf of the faculty and staff at the University of North Alabama, I congratulate all of our graduates for this momentous accomplishment. The most recent data indicates that approximately 25.6% of Alabama residents 25 or older possess a baccalaureate degree or higher. Nationally, the percentage is 32.6. For graduate degrees, the national average is 12.6%, with 9.5% of Alabama residents possessing a graduate degree. Therefore, you can take great pride in earning your degree from UNA as it distinguishes you in the global marketplace. As most of you know, the University of North Alabama enjoys a long history, tracing its origins to LaGrange College, which was established in 1830. There are 720 in your graduating class this semester. With the addition of this graduating class, you are now part of a total of 63,495 students who have graduated from UNA. Today's graduates represent 22 states, including Alabama, and 16 countries. UNA alumni have forged distinguished careers, including 2 Pulitzer Prize winners, a Grammy Award winner, 2 Alabama governors, a Texas governor, a current Alabama state senator, and 2 current members of the Alabama House of Representatives, numerous members of the U.S. Congress, a special assistant to the President of the United States, and numerous leaders in business and public service. Your fellow graduates have gone on to attain distinction in their chosen fields, and I know each of you will do the same. Regardless of your chosen career, I urge each of you to find a way to make a positive impact in your community and in the world. Congratulations to you all. Thank you, and roar Lions.
I would like to introduce now several groups of people who are celebrating this special occasion with you and ask that these individuals stand when their names are called. Please hold your applause until each group has been introduced. Starting with our stage party and beginning on the back row, Dr. Vince Bruton, Dean of the Honors College, Ms. Amber Fight Morgan, General Counsel, Mr. Kevin Haslam, Vice President for University Advancement, Dr. Sarah Lynn Baird, Interim Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Mr. Mark Linder, Director of Athletics, Mr. Evan Thornton, Vice President for Business and Financial Affairs, Ms. Tasha Page Whitten, President of the UNA Alumni Association, and on the front row, Mr. Ron Patterson, Chief Enrollment Officer and Assistant to the President for Diversity, Dr. Jeffrey Bibby, Associate Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, who will assist with the presentation of graduates, Dr. Deborah Barnhart, our guest speaker, who will be formally recognized later in the program, Dr. Ross Alexander, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, Mr. Simpson Russell, President Pro Tem of the UNA Board of Trustees, and Dr. Lee Renfro, Faculty Senate President and Mace Bearer. Please join me in welcoming the stage party. I'd like to note that today we are joined also by many faculty from the College of Arts and Sciences seated to my right. Colleagues, thank you for being here today. There are also many members of the UNA staff working very hard to facilitate today's ceremony, working in this room and behind the scenes. And we're also joined by the UNA Wind Ensemble, directed by Dr. Lloyd Jones. Thank you so much for being here as well today. And now to our guest speaker. Dr. Deborah Barnhart's remarkable career spans commercial industry, government, aerospace, and national defense. She is a retired U.S. Navy captain who also has an impressive corporate resume of executive positions with firms that have recognizable names, such as Honeywell International, McDonnell Douglas, and Boeing. For the past 9 years, she has served as the CEO and Executive Director of the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama's leading tourist attraction. She's the recipient of various honors and awards, including being named the 2018 Alabama Tourism Executive of the Year. Dr. Barnhart has degrees from the University of Maryland, the University of Alabama at Huntsville, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and a doctorate from Vanderbilt University. Additional biographical details are noted in your commencement program, and we are most honored that she is with us today to address you, our graduates. Please join me in giving a warm UNA Lion welcome to Dr. Deborah Barnhart.
Hey, Lions, you made it. Woo! We're there. We are there. And the whole state is celebrating today. It's Alabama's 200th birthday today, and everyone's celebrating with you. My mates from the Rocket Center are currently driving a lunar rover down the Montgomery by the Capitol there with an astronaut on board in the parade. But I chose to come here today to be with you. What a wonderful celebration day this is. You know, you just graduated, or in a few minutes, and I just retired from the Space and Rocket Center. So we're both at this plateau in life where we've got this body of work, and I'm happy to be here and celebrate with you today. This means that we have got it made. We've got it made, people. We're there. We are there. You're there, and I'm there for sure. This means that from now on, you don't have to worry about food or shelter or safety. You only have first world problems to worry about. Things like a cracked screen on your cell phone, an apartment that's too small for your 96-inch QLED television, and, having a place to park your Tesla Cybertruck. So those are the problems you're going to have in your life. Please try to remember. Ask yourself as you go through life, is this a first world problem? Try to separate those things that are important from those things that are not important. Let me take you back to an incredible career. The object today is for me to tell you and to share with you the things that have worked for me in my life and my career. I'm going to call this today the secrets from mission control, since I've spent most of my life in aerospace and defense, and of course being at space camp. We've got 1 million graduates from space camp. How many people in this room are space camp graduates? Come on, lift them up high, I want to see you. We've had 1 million graduates, and they're changing the world. Yeah, you guys, I see you up there, I love you. It's awesome. I want to tell you where that started. That simple concept started with a man who was born in German-occupied Poland. You know this man's name, Dr. Werner von Braun. When he was a child, he was terrible in math and didn't want to study in school. Then he got hooked on the idea of traveling into space. When he was a little boy, 10 years old, and for his Lutheran confirmation, instead of getting his first pair of long pants like the other Lutheran boys, his mother thought it would be better if she gave him a telescope. He kept his eyes on the stars for his entire life and decided that going to space was going to be difficult and that he'd have to bear down in his studies. So he found his mission. He found his reason to begin his body of work. He studied throughout his 20s, when he was your age and beyond, with Dr. Hermann Oberth, who was the leading rocket scientist at that time in the world. And then, as he began to be a prodigious 20-something-year-old rocket scientist, the war, World War II. He had no choice. His father had been an official in the Weimar Republic, which was, of course, out of favor with the Nazi regime. Von Braun was then enjoined to come and join a group of scientists that were appointed by the Reich to go to Peenemünde, Germany. It's a little spit of land up way at the Baltic, right up there where they could launch rockets sort of in a polar orbit. And he and about 120 other rocket scientists were conscripted to go there to work on what would become the vengeance weapon, the V2. They didn't necessarily want to do that, but in von Braun's case, it was like, either come and work on your most famous project, the thing that you really want to do in your whole life anyway, which is to make a rocket to leave the planet, or we'll kill you and your family, your father, your mother, all your friends. So he went under duress to do this work and did a good job of it. He was even imprisoned for more than 2 weeks once when he was at a party, and some young lady overheard him talking about he wished that they were working on this rocket to go to space instead of going to bomb London and to wreak havoc upon the rest of Europe. But von Braun persevered. They created the first ballistic missile to ever leave the planet, changed history. And at the end of the war, very surprisingly, they took everything they had. They took their blueprints. They took all the hardware on train cars and hid them in the mountains of southern Germany. And they had a convocation of these 120-some people. And they said, what shall we do with this brainchild of ours that has so much power and so much potential destruction? And they voted. Into whose hands shall we put this brainchild? They decided to put it in the hands of a peaceful nation. They decided to surrender to the Americans, even though the Russians, the Germans, the French, even the English wanted this body of knowledge, wanted this group of people. They voted to come to the United States. So they decided, well, how should we do this? They decided to surrender. And they said, well, who should we send to surrender? Well, they chose Magnus von Braun's younger brother, because they said he was the youngest, he spoke the best English, and he was the most expendable. So they sent him down the hill on a bicycle, and he surrendered to Private Frederick Schneikert of the United States Army. Those people were then brought to White Sands, New Mexico, El Paso, Texas area, and for 5 years, think about this, graduates, for longer than you've probably been in school. For 5 years, they were prisoners of peace. They were sequestered in an old hospital building. That's where they lived. They built their own furniture. They were not allowed to travel out in town without escort for 5 long years. Some of them were able to bring over their families a little bit at a time. Von Braun went back and got married, brought his wife over. But for 5 years, they lived in this country without being free people. Eventually, the Redstone Arsenal was for sale. It had been an old Army munitions area, and after the war, it was for sale. So they brought that German team en masse to Huntsville, Alabama, to the Army Ballistic Missile Command. President Eisenhower didn't want to have a military space program. And so he created NASA. Eisenhower came to Huntsville, opened the Marshall Space Flight Center, transferred Dr. Von Braun and his team to the NASA, and you know the rest of the story. They made history there. They accomplished the crowning achievement of humanity, arguably, at that time and at that place in Huntsville. So the question is for you and me, what is this body of work that we're going to do in our lifetime? You know, life is a ladder, and there are plateaus, there are landings on a stairway. You're at one of those plateaus today. You're at one of those break points where you can go one direction or the other, as Robert Frost said, the road not taken. There will be rest points, there will be plateaus, but the road always goes up. And the question is, at the top of the landing, when you look back, what is the body of work that you will have accomplished in your lifetime? I'm way closer to the top of that staircase looking back. And you Space Camp graduates, you're part of my legacy, you're part of my body of work. So I enjoin you today in this one calm moment of thinking about your own future with your own mind, through your own eyes, to think about what is that body of work going to be. Now, Von Braun left us a lot of things to do. The big question still isn't solved. How did we get here? Why are we here? Where did we come from? What happened? What made the Big Bang, if that's what happened, and that's how we got here? Where did that all come from? We're still a long way from it, but we're sorting it out little by little. Captain Cook, in his voyages of the 1700s, finally verified longitude with the simple device that was invented, the seaworthy clock. After him, Galileo, well, before him a little, Galileo made sure that we understood that the sun was in the middle of our little galaxy, and he plotted all those wanderers, the planets, the wanderers, he called them. Then Von Braun and his team sent people to the moon, and we figured out it wasn't made of cheese after all. And then the Hubble telescope went up and showed us that all that body of work that had been done through all those centuries was nothing compared to the 300 billion galaxies that the Hubble telescope discovered for us. Now, when the James Webb Space Telescope goes up in 2021, they're expecting to see another 600 billion galaxies. So there's plenty of work to do, both on the big question and on those little questions that come in its wake. And while we're talking about space for just a minute, all of the talks I've given lately, I decided to add this. I want to stop for a small commercial from Planet Earth, your home. I was in a meeting not long ago with Christiane Amanpour, the reporter, the Amanpour and Company reporter from public television and CNN. And she said, I ask you, and today I ask you, if you don't remember anything else about our time here together today, please begin now to think seriously about human impact on the planet. I'm not encouraging you to do one thing or another. I'm not encouraging you to act in any certain way. But we are consuming and terraforming everything in our path, and we're leaving a lot of trash behind us in our wake. So yes, space colonization is a possibility. Elon Musk is a Space Camp graduate, and Elon and I disagree about this. Elon thinks we have to leave the planet because we're going to trash it and we got to have somewhere else to go. I disagree with him. I believe that space exploration is necessary because those are the very same technologies that we need to save our planet. Think about it: oxygen generation, water recycling, carbon dioxide removal, food growth, waste management. And as we go along, those are the technologies, exactly the technologies that we need to save our planet. And if somewhere along the way we figure out how to lasso asteroids and move them so that they won't hit the Earth anymore, that's a pretty good thing too. And if you don't think so, you can ask a dinosaur what they think about that. So now back to our mission, the mission of the day. Your challenge is to find the path for yourself that gives you that mission, that gives you that body of work, that gives you that legacy that defines you, your life, and your work. And you have two choices. This is going to be easy today. You have two choices. You can do what you are called to do, or you can do a JOB, right? Here's where I begin to tell you the secrets of mission control. Number one, the hardcore truth is that when you work, when you are employed, you are selling your breaths of your body and the heartbeats of your heart to a company for money or to some person or entity. You're selling your life for cash. It's the hard truth. So my recommendation is that you love it, that you enjoy every single thing that you're doing with your life. Why wouldn't you? Why would you give your life to something that you don't love and that you're not passionate about? The key then is to find what you love to do and do it over and over again. It may wind from place to place. You may change directions a little bit. But picking out what you love to do in life, let me tell you, is just as important, if not more important, than picking out your life's lovers. I see all the little smiles there. Picking a lover is pretty important, isn't it, people? I mean, and you better pick your job with the same amount of consciousness and passion that you pick the lovers in your life. Well, how do you do that? How do you know? You're all wondering, well, how do I know exactly what's right for me? Luckily, that part's easy. It's already inside you. It's your compass. It's up to you to set your course and to set your mission. Nobody else can tell you. Mom and dad, sister, brother, Sunday school teacher, aunt, uncle who wants you to be a dentist. No, only you can tell yourself. And remember, you can always change headings. If the wind blows in a certain way, if your boat springs a leak in it, if your mates jump overboard, okay, all that stuff's going to happen to you. Reset your heading and keep sailing. I love the way Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes put it. He said, it matters not where you are, but where you're going. Because we're all somewhere, right? It doesn't matter where we are. It matters where we're going. We sail at times with the wind, at times against the wind, but sail we must, and never drift nor anchor. So here's secret number 2. We all look like judges here today, don't we? It's funny. Dismiss the court. Dismiss the court on yourself. Stop all the incessant self-criticism. The boomers are spending a lot of time criticizing millennials anyway, so forget about it. Forget about them. Forget about criticizing yourself. If I could recover all the minutes of my life and hours and days and months and years that I have spent second-guessing my choices, worrying about how fat I am, wondering what other people think, I would live at least 10 years longer than I probably will. So you must forgive yourself and everyone else immediately. Lay that burden down. Dismiss your own court. Unburden yourself of that baggage. Hate, weight, anxiety, and judging of other people. The time and energy you recover for doing that will be plenty of time and energy for your own mission and your own passion. Don't let anxiety steal your life. It's your life. And don't let others define your success. You're the master of your fate. You're the captain of your soul, according to Invictus. And beware, this one's really important, and you've already experienced this. In terms of the Wizard of Oz, don't let the flying monkeys get you. Because every time you set out to do something, every time you decide, I think this is what I'm going to do, or I think this would be cool, 5 flying monkeys at least are going to come screeching down and tell you, you can't do this. That's not a good idea. You have to do something else. Am I right, people? You guys all see the flying monkeys everywhere. They don't know your mission or your passion. You just pour water on them, along with any other witches or bitches that you encounter, and they will melt away. I promise you. It's true. It's true. The fact is that some people will love you. This is important. Some people will love you. Some people will hate you. And the rest of them don't care. So why waste your time with all of that? Secret number 3. Please choose to be happy. and productive. You know the old adage about the glass being half full, half empty, the pessimist and the optimist. No one can go inside your brain and change how you feel. I cannot make you feel anything. You might decide to respond to something I say or do, but you're making that decision, both intellectually and emotionally. And this is important in interpersonal relationships too. No one can make you feel anything. It is your response to that. So pick a positive path and live a life of daily happiness. This might be heaven for all we know. You can either make your life heaven, or you can pick cynicism, sarcasm, distrust, and anxiety and live a living life of hell while you're here on earth. So you're going to feel influences, and some of them are going to be horrific. But only you can create your own responses to those things that happen to you. So simply said, it's that easy. Money doesn't equal happiness. Don't regret making mistakes and falling down. Only regret not taking chances. The recipe for success is simple. Start with the end in mind. Take at least one step every day in the direction of your goal, no matter what. Even on those days when you got a bad chest cold, even if you feel like pulling the covers up over your head today and not seeing anyone, look up a phone number. Go online and read a little more about something you've always wanted to do. Take one step every single day. No matter what, do it and repeat it persistently until you get to your goal. After all, growing up is just a process of overcoming our insecurities. Growing up is just overcoming our insecurities. Do as Itzhak Perlman said. Separate your abilities from your disabilities. We all have them. And let action and not suffering define who you are. Finally, everything that is, was, or ever will be started with an idea in someone's mind. The mere act of conceiving a possibility is always, de facto, the first step to realizing it. Two-way wrist TV, landing on the moon, colonizing Mars. By definition, progress is always born of ideas, of concepts, of heretofore impossible inventions. And here's my favorite quote from Goethe about that. Boldness has genius and magic in it. Whatever you can do or think you can do, begin it. Begin it now. Graduating is akin to the Native Americans' tradition of the sweat lodge. Do you feel like you've been through a sweat lodge for the last several years? Working, going to school, family. College is a sweat lodge, no doubt about it. But the ceremony, the magic and the wonder of it begins when you leave the lodge. New vision, new inspiration, new hope, new actions, new missions. God bless you. Go for launch.
Thank you very much, Dr. Barnhart, for being here and for those wonderful remarks. It is my pleasure to again introduce the UNA Wind Ensemble and Miss Megan Rainey for a musical selection.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices
The University of North Alabama has one faculty member who is retiring at the end of the fall 2019 semester and who is being honored at this commencement program. Would Dr. James R. Martin please come forward? Dr. Martin, professor of journalism, served the university for 20 years, from 1999 to 2019. I present Dr. Martin with a certificate of meritorious service that reads, to James R. Martin, member of the faculty, professor, scholar, and friend, greetings, congratulations, and cordial good wishes from your friends and professional associates, the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of the University of North Alabama. We cite you for signal honor on the occasion of your retirement from active duty after long and meritorious service to the university. With this citation, you are appointed by the president of the university to the status of Professor Emeritus, with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. We thank Dr. Martin for his dedicated service to the University of North Alabama and its students. One more time for Dr. Martin. The Keller Key Award was established as a memorial to the late President James Albert and Mrs. Marilyn Keller. A Keller Key is presented at each commencement to the honor graduates who, on the basis of having earned all credits for the bachelor's degree at this university, have made the highest scholastic average. Will the marshals please escort to the platform the following recipient of the Keller Key for this ceremony? Mr. Joshua Graham Williams. Mr. Williams completes the Bachelor of Science degree with a major in mass communication. For this semester, qualifying for the Keller Award meant having a grade point average of at least 4.0 on a scale of 4.0. Mr. Williams is the son of Dr. Laura Williams, a faculty member in the Anderson College of Nursing and Health Professions. Please join me in congratulating Mr. Williams.
The Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences will now present candidates for the conferral of their respective degrees. Again, please remain seated until the ceremony is ended so that each graduate's name can be heard when announced. Would Dr. Sarah Lynn Baird please come forward?
As you are able, would candidates for master's degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences please stand and remain standing? President Kitts, it is with great pleasure that I present these candidates to you for the conferral of their master's degrees.
Through the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the University of North Alabama, I now bestow upon each of you your respective master's degree. Congratulations. Would the marshals please conduct the candidates to the platform?
College of Arts and Sciences Graduate Studies, Ali Hassan Al-Nasser. Allison Bergner. Kershayla Marisha Harif. Ethan G. Humphreys. Ionica Johnson. Kathleen Elizabeth Lindsay. Julia McGee. Waverly Aurora Eden Lois Pollock. Corey Gann Robbins. Heather Ruth Schulman. Tabitha Singleton. Kenneth Lee Tanner. Candace Treese.
As you are able, would candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences stand and remain standing? President Kitts, it is with great pleasure that I present to you these candidates for bachelor's degrees.
Through the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the University of North Alabama, I now bestow upon each of you your respective bachelor's degree. Please move the tassel from the right edge to the left edge of your cap. Congratulations. Will the marshals please conduct these candidates to the platform?
Chase Helton Askew. Tristan Atkins. Caitlin Alexandria Bain. Taylor Nicole Barmeister. Savannah Dawn Beadle. Mark Alexander Beeman, magna cum laude. Blake Harrison Bean. Natalie Darlene B. Mackenzie Elizabeth Blizzard. Malika Andukagori. Amanda Michelle Arrington, magna cum laude. Samantha Megan Boris. Jordan David Bretherick. Gigi Broadway. Anthony Bruton. Samantha Kaylee Marie Burke. Chandler Darwin Burney. Brittany Cheyenne Cagle. Kylie Nicole Carver, magna cum laude, Honors College. Errol Keith Chandler. Let's go! Kylan Grace Kensington Channel. Anthony Garrett Citrano. Caitlin Colleen Clardy, cum laude. Brianna Marie Clunch. Brianna Lee Collins, cum laude. Carly Nicole Cornelius. Bailey Elizabeth Cox, cum laude. Haley Michelle Crane. Audrey Latrice Crump. James Matthew Cruz, cum laude. Rachel Hope Davis, summa cum laude. Robin Alexis Davis, cum laude. Jonathan Kendall Dean. Lee Ann Dobbs. Andrea Dowdy, magna cum laude. Kimberly Ann Dubose. Desiree Simone Eason. Kristen Nicole Epping. Tanya Jeanette Irvin. Catherine Gabrielle Essery. Lindsay Dawn Feltner. Jessica Lynn Fletcher. Margaret Catherine Freeman, summa cum laude. Miyu Fujita. Brett Samuel Garner. Annie Carol Gautreaux. Jesse Wheeler Gifford. Melinda Susan Gleaves, magna cum laude. Logan Jesse Grant. Lainey Madison Green, magna cum laude. Taylor Elizabeth Gunter, magna cum laude. Brent Hales, cum laude. Lisa Diane Hall. Michael Dwayne Hamilton. Madeline Ruth Hammond. Shaylee Blith Hamner. Haley Hampton Wilson. Sin Hyun Han. Ashley Suzanne Hansen. Lauren Danielle Harrison, summa cum laude, Honors College. Chandler Hawkins. Michael Blake Hawkins. Mahaley Ann Heller. Kobe Bernard Hicks. Taylor Philip Holliday. Kaylee R. Holt, summa cum laude. J. Hughes Buford. Taylor Lynn Hunt. Lucas Ross Hurst, magna cum laude. Annalie Isom, cum laude. Lachelle Jackson. Samuel Alex Jones. Caitlin Jordan, summa cum laude. Tyler Joyner. Jackson Stephen Latham. Matthew David Kuntz. Danielle A. Knobloch. Brody Lehman Knight, summa cum laude, Honors College. Colin Matthew King, cum laude. Gannon Marie Key. Ashton Rose Kopovich. Kenethia Danielle McDonald. Kira Suzanne Matthews, summa cum laude. Brianna Matthews. Colton Mitchell Mason. Erica A. Marshall. Jaqueline Nicole Malone. Madeline Sheree Lynch, cum laude. Felicia Marie Lorenzo. Mallory Lee Morris. Keisha Montgomery. Ms. Montgomery will have her diploma presented by her mother, Ms. Stephanie Montgomery, Senior Lecturer in Speech Communication. Austin Ryan Mize. Courtney Brianna Mitchell, magna cum laude, Honors College. Brianna Nicole Minyard. Michael N. Messer. Andrew Charles McPherson. Claire Marie McElwain. Spencer Dion O'Neill Jr. Yui Omomeyuda, summa cum laude. Heather Brooke Noonan. Amy Nellums. William Charles Roberts Nash. Santanius Murray Nance. Sienna LaFaith Mullins. Amanda Grace Mullins. Allison Shea Phelps. Melissa Ann Pearson. Patrick Easton Patterson. Brooke A. Patterson. Jacob G. Parker, cum laude. Christopher Stone Parker. Brady Alex Owensby. Trenton Levon Owens. Mary Charles Ramsey. Darby Danielle Rainey. Benjamin Thomas Reagan. Yinya Yurle Kwawie. Presley Nicole Price, summa cum laude. Jessa Plunkett, magna cum laude. Maria Juliana Pinzon Munoz, cum laude. Kennedy Jade Pig, cum laude, magna cum laude. Kiana Robinson. Janelle Gayan Roberts. Michaela Danielle Rickles. Erin Elisa Remkus. Macy Devin Reeves. Hannah Elizabeth Reese. Gerard Christopher Reedus. Macy Sierra Randolph. Morgan Savannah Sanders, summa cum laude. Alexia Lachey Sales, magna cum laude. Kevin Ray Saint II, cum laude. Julia Reda, summa cum laude. Adam Matthew Rosengarten, summa cum laude. Dakota Glenn Ronson. David Rose. Alexander Mark Rodriguez. Gabriella Benta Snell. Rachel Elizabeth Smith, cum laude. Jacob Alexander Skinner. Dalton Allen Charette. Jada Sheree Sheeha. Frank Thomas Selby. Tarina Cheyenne Sabelski. Lucas Ryan Scott, cum laude. Sachichung Songlo. Mr. Songlo will have his diploma presented by his father, Mr. Matthew Fulmer, instructor, supervising teacher, Kilby Laboratory School. Kayla Lee Tippett. Aaron Colby Thrasher, summa cum laude, Honors College. Jonathan Brian Thompson. David Duo Swin. Patrick Allen Saista. Asia Natise Taylor. John Paul Stoltz. Joshua Graham Williams, summa cum laude. Mr. Williams will have his diploma presented by his mother, Dr. Laura Williams, Associate Professor of Nursing. Amber Lynn Weaver. Houston Pate Weir. Lila Brianna Walker. Rasanari Bell Fongsapai. Stephen Deshaun Tyler. Robin Denise Tucker. Brandy Annette Tucker. Andrew Woodmansey. Danica Winningham. Tucker David Wilsdorf, magna cum laude. Ashlyn Lee Willis, magna cum laude. Alyssa Kristen Willis, cum laude. Victoria Ashley Williams. Michael Thomas Williams. Kinshasa Nairi Williams.
So, graduates, you entered Flowers Hall just an hour or so ago as students of this university, and already you're alumni. And in that regard, it's appropriate that we hear from UNA Alumni Association President Tasha Page Whitten. Tasha, would you please come to the podium?
Hello, my name is Tasha Page Whitten, and I'm the National Alumni Association President. First off, congratulations, you did it! Yay! So I'm going to kind of go off script for just a minute. If you are an alumni of this university in the audience, please stand. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for being here today. Recent graduates, I would also like to thank you. Thank you for pouring countless hours into your studies, attending ball games, campus events, fundraisers, and for helping make this university what it is today. I could not be prouder to say I'm a graduate of the University of North Alabama, and I hope that you now feel the same way as you take your next step in your life. The best is yet to come. One idea I would like to leave you with today is service and the nobility of serving. Giving back to your community can be a significant, even demanding investment, but has potential to yield a high reward. I hope you all look for ways in which you can be of service wherever you land. I would also like to encourage you to continue to pursue this community, the UNA community, not just through financial commitments, but by making tangible and meaningful connections. Get involved with a local alumni chapter. Educate yourself on Project 208 and talk to your local lawmakers about how well UNA has treated you. Encourage prospective high school students to visit UNA's campus. It's a beautiful place to be. Attend homecoming and always keep in touch. You are now part of a global line network. We love to see the places and things our alumni are passionate about, no matter how big or small. If you have something exciting to share with us about your career or personal achievements, please let the Office of Alumni Relations know. Our contact information can be found on the UNA Alumni website. We truly want to hear from you. Your success is our success. Thank you again, congratulations, and Roar Lions.
Thank you very much, Ms. Whitten. Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me as we honor all these graduates with a well-deserved round of applause. If I didn't know better, I think there's a lot of people here that love you guys today. So if you would, please be seated. And again, the reminder, we need everyone to remain seated through the end of the ceremony and the recessional. But graduates, let me speak to you for a second. Many people have helped you and supported you to bring you here today and help you reach this goal of graduation. And at this point, I invite you to help me show our appreciation to them. At this time, I would ask parents and grandparents of the graduates, please stand and be recognized. Thank them. And let's add to that, spouses and children, please stand and be recognized. How about any other friends and relatives? Friends and relatives, stand and be recognized. Thank you for that, and again, please be seated. So graduates, as we move to wrap things up, we commend you for your hard work and the sacrifices and the perseverance that's brought you here today. And if I could make but one request as president of UNA, it's simply this. Take UNA with you wherever you go. Take this wonderful, beautiful, historic place, 190 years in the making, carry it with you in your heart. And when you meet those fellow alumni years from now, greet them with a hearty Roar Lions. I'd like to thank the following people for their assistance with today's program: Dr. Ross Alexander, Dr. Sarah Lynn Baird, Mr. Ron Patterson, Ms. Amber Fight Morgan, and Dr. Jeffrey Bibby. And I would remind the recipient of the Keller Key Award to come to the stage immediately following the recessional for publicity photos. At this time, would everyone please rise for the playing of the alma mater and then remain standing for the recessional?